Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually got West Coast phenomenon, man. We got the one and only, the living legend. We got Razi right here, live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
Yo, life is good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I hope everything's all well for yourself out there, man. I was hearing the news, man, that, the States is actually slowly starting to open back up, man, so it must feel good to get back to relatively normal life.
I will honestly say Atlanta, I don't know if it really ever closed too much at all, to be honest. I say out of the 2 years that we've been in the pandemic, Atlanta was closed for about 2 weeks.
Really? Damn, man. I gotta say, I should have moved to Atlanta, man. You know what I mean? If you guys were only closed for 2 weeks, man, I gotta say, that's pretty damn phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. We're wide open. Like, the second that it was back open again and then people were able to book me, I was booked nonstop. So I've been doing parties and release parties and shows and all over the city nonstop.
But I gotta ask, man, I want to take you back to the very beginning, man. I have to ask you, like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially, man? Because just doing my research for this interview, man, like, your roots run so deep.
Oh, yeah. Where did you find out?
Oh, man, trust me, you're gonna find out, man. I don't ask any generic questions. I always do my research, man. So at the end of the day, you never know what I'm gonna talk about next.
Okay. I like that.
But I have to ask though, man, like, what actually made you decide to get in the music industry initially?
Oh, initially it was my dad, man. My dad is he's a musician himself, so like I've just been around it all my life. Like from the moment I was born, and before I could even walk, he had me up the keyboards and just doing it, man. I feel like this is the most blatant sign ever of what my life path was because it's been in my face for all of my life, you know.
And also as well, man, I actually read that at a young age you actually began producing at a local studio, man. I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about that, and of course, what actually made you decide to venture into the producing aspect of the music industry?
Man, believe it or not, what made me start producing is I used to go visit my brother. My brother's from Detroit as well, but he went to school at MTSU, so I used to go visit him down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, like pretty much like every summer. And when I used to go down there, he was in college, and he would sell beats and engineer for local artists for money, like for side money while he was in school. And I just remember like seeing it. I always saw my dad be a bass player and do live gigs, but seeing my dad my brother doing the production side, I just took a liking to it, and I wanted to do that too, you know. So it was kind of something. It was just a family thing. I saw it in my face, and I was interested. So when I got back to Detroit, everybody knew that I was making beats, and I ended up doing a local studio. And I remember I had a song that I produced for Sada Baby really early, before he is who he is now.
And I gotta ask as well, man, because like when I was doing the research, you said you were about like 9 years old when you first started doing producing, man. Like me personally, I've never heard anybody else be that age actually producing like legendary Detroit talent, man. Like, wow, did any of those songs you actually produce when you were younger? Did they ever actually come out?
When I will say that none of the production that I ever did came out until I was 15. When I hit about 14, 15 years old, then everybody started rapping on my beats and started putting them out. There were like multiple different artists that was in the city. I remember being in front of that studio, and they had a loudspeaker, and those were my beats they were playing, and I was only 15 at the time. When I was 9, those beats kind of just stayed on the keyboard. Those were like the practice beats. They didn't really go too far.
But also as well, man, I've read that you actually joined forces with YB to actually release the Diary of a College Kid mixtape, where you guys actually became the Fame Boys. I was wondering if you could tell us a story behind that duo, and of course, how did you guys initially get connected? Because you guys had so much chemistry on the microphone together.
Oh man, so believe it or not, I was really hot in the city. Everybody in Detroit knew who I was, and he was another artist as well. And it's funny because we started off not liking each other. Like there was a little girl in between us, and we teenagers and some bull. But once we got past that situation and we linked up, and I was like, I'm working on my next project. We should link. And I met up with him, and we got in the studio. I started producing and letting him hear some things, and He became a best friend of mine, and I was with him every single day. Like, it was an everyday thing. Woke up, went to go get him, smoke a little bit, go record, hang out with the people around the city, and then wake up and do it the same thing the next day.
And I gotta say as well, do you is a Fame Boys still around today, or did you guys actually like go your separate ways? Like, are you guys still a hip hop duo today?
So there's two different sets of the Fame Boys. The original set, I talked to him about a couple years ago. It was just me and YB, and then when the industry came and tried to polish this up, it was another set when I had this guy named Ty and a guy named Pat. But this guy named Ty is still one of my best friends to this day. I just did an interview with him not too long ago. He has a podcast as well, and that's somebody that I talk to every day. He was actually the first person on one of my beats when I produced. Him and my brother were the first people ever on the beat together. So I've been in touch with those guys since I was a kid. Still talk to them.
And also as well, man, as you already know, we actually got connected through Razi Entertainment. I was wondering, how did you actually get connected with that company? And of course, what's the story behind that partnership, man? Because he is most definitely phenomenal at what he does.
Oh man, so me and Rod got connected because I was in the middle of somebody else was trying to manage me, and they were looking really heavily into finding me an investor. And when I finally came to an investor, and they came to my house, they actually had brought Ra, and Ra was just kind of just a fly on the wall, kind of just watching the whole scenario. I did the whole presentation, playing my music videos, and everything. And I guess we didn't speak too much at that time. We followed each other and didn't really speak too much. And then for the longest time, he just thought that I was signed. He thought I was signed to a record label. So I actually met up with him again at Sankonia, just a coincidence. And when I saw him there, we had a good conversation. And when he found out that I wasn't already signed to somebody, he was just blown away. So like we just been working nonstop since then.
And I got to give him a shout out as well just for actually setting this up, man, because it's an honor to have such a talented individual like yourself on my radio station airwaves this evening, man. So definitely shout out to Rod Dalla.
Oh yeah, thank you. Super shout out to Rob, man. He's been very clutch, and he's been the man behind this media run that I've been on. Between him and my other business partner, Eagle, we've been nonstop.
And also as well, you have had the opportunity to share the studio with like tons of legendary individuals, man. But the one individual that really stood out to me is former Bad Boy Entertainment hip-hop artist Mace. I was wondering, how did yourself and him get connected? And of course, what was it like just being in the studio with him, man? Because such a phenomenal individual.
Man, you were digging. Are you the FBI? But wait, no, man. It's funny. I just reached out to Mace again because if anybody who listens to me, they know that Bad Boy and that whole movement is part of the reason why I fell in love with rap so much to this day. I personally think Bad Boy was the greatest hip hop label of all time. So being around him, I'm just like, if I don't get anything else from you, even if we don't do a feature, anything else, I would just like to say, like, man, I just want to learn from him and let him be a mentor to me to continue to craft me to be as great as I can be, just point blank period.
And I gotta ask as well, man, like, what was one of your most memorable moments is just sharing with that guy, man? Because it must have been surreal for you, because like you said, you grew up loving Bad Boy Records, so being actually in there with one of the biggest artists to actually come off that label, man, must have been so surreal for you.
Yeah. Believe it or not, every time Mace called me to the studio, he's listening to the music, and I think that he loves it. But Mace has no facial expressions, no happiness, no sadness. Just kind of he listens to it. If he doesn't kick you out of the room, then he likes it. So that's pretty much all it is, man.
And I gotta say as well, man, when it comes to Mace, man, I don't know, my favorite record is always Harlem World, man. One of just that album from front to back, man. Like track 1 right to the end is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I love all the stuff that he did with Biggie. Biggie is, believe it or not, I mean, of course, he's easy to believe, but he's definitely in my top 10 favorite rappers of all time, man. Biggie and that whole movement was great, man. It's great. I don't know if you did your research on this one. I'm working with CBJ now as well.
I heard about that. Yes, actually, man. I gotta say, what do you? I know you guys can't let too many cats out of the bag, man. But what since you brought that up, like, what can we expect from these projects, man? Because I can only imagine what you guys are cooking.
I have to say myself, if I say anything could have happened from God, it is the fact that I was already very influenced by the bad boy movement, and it just fell into place. I feel like Stevie J was the producer that I always needed to work with, and I had no idea that that's exactly who I needed to work with, as far as him being a true life musician, a true life hit maker, and a true life mentor. That guy is way more than love and hip hop. That dude is a really great musician, point blank, period. And I'm really happy that he's one of my first industry producers that I'm working with.
And also, as well, man, I actually read that you are the CEO and owner of Melodic Island Records, man. I was wondering what actually made you decide to start up your own label, and of course, what services do you actually offer to the general public?
The label came from me. I've always been a boss. Always been a boss. Even when I was in the same boys, I started off as a producer. I was the one who would pull the artists together and pretty much do full blown artist development, from getting the graphic designs together to the photo shoots to the video shoots to the overall polishing of artists and the work. So as of right now, I'm the only artist on Melodic Island Records, but we definitely gonna be getting some more producers, and I have one artist in mind I'm gonna be using. But as of right now, what I'm doing it, make sure that I lift off the way that we need to, so I can go ahead and spearhead and get the rest of the people in there the way that they need to as well.
And also, as well, man, you have actually been featured on the hit TV show on Fox titled Star. I was wondering, how did that opportunity come to be for you? And of course, what was it like just actually being a part of the cast and crew? Because that show was absolutely huge on Fox.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was pretty cool, man. It was like every single day I got a real chance to being on a TV set, and I was there every single day, all day, and and I'm probably on about 3 episodes, but in total, as many hours as I spent on set, you probably see me on the show for probably a total of 2 minutes. But it was awesome, man. I got a chance to meet Brandy, Ryan Destiny, who's actually the lead. She was one of the main characters in the group. I used to produce for her as well too, back in Detroit, back when I was 15 years old. I actually met her through Kaniva, and I call her Mama Mika. Kaniva from D12. They actually set that up back when I was a teenager, so it was kind of surreal for me to be on the same TV show with her later on in the future.
And I have to ask as well, do you actually have any plans to kind of venture back into the TV scene, or are you just going to stick to your music and producing?
I definitely have plans of getting back to TV. I have plans of doing movies. I have a character that I do. I plan on doing a movie for that character, and a lot of that. I plan on having kind of like a Will Smith career, you know. I start off with the music, and then I go into the movies and the acting, and then I venture off into my Diddy mode with the CEO of the label type situation. I'm definitely going to knock it all out, though.
And also as well, man, July 17th of last year, you actually released the 10-track album titled The Wave. I was wondering, what is the creative process behind that amazing record? And of course, do you have any hard copies available that our listeners can actually purchase today? Because I gotta say, that album is absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. That album was my dedication to Atlanta. Me being from Detroit, I always say when I first moved to Atlanta and it was all trapped out music, I did not understand it. I feel like as a musician, I didn't understand it. I couldn't stand it at first at all. But the more that I got a chance to be in the clubs and being in the studios and starting to get and seeing how the culture and how the movement and see why it's so popular, I was like, man, I get it. And I just want to do my version of trap music, and that was what that whole project was. The Wave project was just a dedication of me saying, hey, Atlanta, I'm here. I love y'all. Let me give you something. Let me dedicate something to you. We don't have any hard copies, though. That's only streaming, but it's streaming everywhere. YouTube, Deezer, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, everywhere. You can get it anywhere.
And I gotta say, man, the one song that I really enjoyed off that record is actually Shoot My Shot, man. Such a phenomenal joint.
Oh, yeah. Shoot My Shot that's a big record, man. We're going to get that on one of these 2Ks, between 2K22, 23, 24, 25, 26. one of these 2Ks in life, shoot, my shot is going to be on there. I promise you, man.
And also as well, man, July... Oh, sorry about that, man. My apologies.
Oh, no, you're perfectly fine. All right, let's go. What's the next one?
I was going to say, man, July 19th of this year, man, you actually released your one of your most recent releases, man, the 5-track EP titled Razi D, man. I was wondering, can you tell our listeners a bit more about this amazing release? And of course, man, like, where can we actually purchase ourselves a copy, man?
Yeah, again, Razi D is available everywhere. You can get it everywhere. And that project came from, we were about to do a larger project, kind of like Wave again. I had a lot more club bangers, but we just felt like the atmosphere and everything, the energy just didn't feel right to put out another project like that. We needed to bring it back home with a little bit more R&B and a little bit closer to who I am. It was like basically the summer was starting to end, and we weren't done with the other projects that we wanted to work on. So, God just made it to where we condensed it. Me and my business partner Eagle came together and we picked out a couple songs. Like, oh, these two songs sound good together. Oh, well, we add these other couple songs, and we just gave a quick package. But this is a project that people love a lot, and I'm grateful that it happened.
And I have to ask, man, what is next for you? Because I know we only touched base on a sliver of your amazing career this evening, man. But I have to ask, is there anything we missed? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still have you here live on the Canadian FM dial this evening.
I think just keep on watching, man. Razi D is out everywhere. Catty Feet is my biggest song. That song has grown legs of its own. I feel like that single is the reason why I'm even speaking to you right now, because that song has just gone everywhere. It's been in places that I have not been in. They're playing it in Africa right now. Like, it's in Canada, of course. It's everywhere. So everybody go listen to Catty Feet. If you love what you hear from the Catty Feet single and a music video, which we shot just a couple months ago, if you love that, then go back and listen to the rest of my music. The whole catalog is, I won't say it's flawless, but it's gorgeous. You're going to love it.
And also, man, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, like, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Razi if they're not already doing so.
Absolutely. I always start off with Razi TV on YouTube. If you go to RAZI TV on YouTube, every single thing that I do from this moment and everything else that happens in my career, I vlog and I document, and you'll be able to see that on Razi TV. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at RAZI_TV. I want to give a big shout out again to Rob. Give a shout out to my business partner Eagle. I want to shout out to Melodic Island, my entire label, Karatova, Busy. I want to give a shout out to everybody, Primo Brown, everybody who's done everything to get me to where I'm at in this point. My dad. Appreciate y'all. That's right.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening and actually coming on the radio station airwaves, man. I'm super excited to see what comes next for yourself, man. But I gotta say, for now, man, nothing but blessings to yourself out there, man, in Atlanta. And again, thank you so much for just taking over our airwaves this evening.
Man, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You are most certainly welcome, man. Have yourself a wonderful...
All right, thank you.
You're most certainly welcome, man.